I'm gonna start this off with a casual story because I was working the night shift last night for the sporting news, 3:30 to 12. Supposed to be a slow night. The US lost to Italy in one of the most historic World Baseball Classic upsets. The Maxx Crosby Ravens trade lasted 48 hours. And Bam Adebayo scored 83 points, passing Kobe Bryant, the second highest scoring game in NBA history. I guess Bam is better than Kobe all time now. But no, seriously, we are here to talk mainly free agency and college basketball, maybe a little Bam, maybe a little World Baseball Classic. Welcome back, TalkBall Tweakers, episode 45, episode Michael Jordan's second number two. Joined by my co-host, Toussaint and Blake McQuarrie. How are we feeling after one of the craziest Tuesday nights that we've seen in a while?
Good.
It's
Uh,
always a Tuesday.
yeah,
It's
I,
always like
I,
a Tuesday, random Tuesday, everything pops
yeah,
off.
it is. It's
Always
always a
Tuesday.
random middle of the week day, isn't it? I feel good though. I mean, back recording, back locked in. So, but yeah, no, I mean, shit's been wild, and
Been
we're gonna talk
crazy.
about it. So I'm excited.
Yeah,
If you would have bet me that Bam Adebayo, if it was I people were online talking about, oh, it was Bam, or I never thought Kobe's record was gonna get broken. I knew it was gonna get broken at some point, but if you had told me it was gonna be Bam Adebayo, I would have slapped you across the face.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that too. I was like, that shit's wild. I would have never in a million years thought it would have been Bam Adebayo. But
yeah, it's nuts. Like the
okay.
stat that his career high before yesterday was 41, which was like a hundredth all time, and then all the guys he passed.
Yeah.
Um, 40 free throws, 43 free throws though. Jesus, I don't know why I sounded stupid there. But anyway, we're gonna start with NFL free agency. So let's
Talk
Talk ball.
ball.
um I know I said free agency, but I guess this technically isn't free agency, but we have to start with it. Maxx Crosby was a Baltimore Raven for 72 hours or whatever it was. The Ravens shipped a 2026 first round pick, a 2027 first round pick, and a few other assets to bring the superstar edge rusher to Baltimore. Last night, the Ravens reportedly backed out of the trade because Crosby failed his physical. And then today, the Ravens signed Trey Hendrickson 4 years, 112. Thoughts on just what happened, I guess.
I mean, it's a story of something's going to come out that we don't know yet. It has it written all over it. Um, I believe what happened was because you look at like the tweets and the wording of it, it was a little weird.
It was weird.
It was a little weird. They said that the Ravens had backed out of the trade, and I don't know if the physical was involved in the initial tweet or not. I don't know that. I don't know if I don't know, but all I know is that the wording was very, very weird, which means something's going to come out here. And I think the Baltimore Ravens knew that they messed up.
Yeah.
I think what really happened was they went through with the trade, obviously. 48 hours passed and they realized, okay, we messed up here. We can hold on. We just gave away some of our really, really good first round picks for a Maxx Crosby who's coming off of a meniscus tear. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that Maxx Crosby wouldn't recover from that meniscus tear. He's gonna be the same fucking Maxx Crosby that we've seen for the past 5, 6, 7 years now. Um, but they realized that, okay, wait a minute, we can retain our picks here. We can go get an edge rusher that, is costs a little less money and is still an elite edge rusher. Hence why they signed Trey Hendrickson. Not even what 10, 13 hours after they said, you know what, we're not gonna go with the Maxx Crosby trade anymore. So something's really interesting, and we're gonna that's gonna come out at some point. Um, but yeah, it's a wild, wild thing. I don't think we've ever seen this in our lifetime, especially this caliber of a trade. Like obviously you see it all the time in the NBA and things like that. You never see that in the NFL, where especially a player like Maxx Crosby. I'm gonna actually say you never see a trade like that when it's a player involving Maxx Crosby or a player like that caliber. So it's a wild, wild thing.
Yeah, it was like. one of the weirdest things because I went on Twitter to see other free agency news like last night, and I was like, I wonder who else got signed, and I'm like, what? It was one of the weirdest things ever. It's I think what happened was that they thought people were going to be ecstatic that they got a great pass rusher. Their pass rush was terrible last year. They had nobody rushing the quarterback. One of their defensive tackles was out for the entire season. They had nobody. And so they made, I mean, if you watched Steelers versus Ravens games, they made Aaron Rodgers look like an all pro. He was sitting there in that backfield for at least like 10 seconds before he had to make up his mind. So they probably thought, we'll get an elite pass rusher and everything will be fine. Well, man, let me tell you something. Ravens fans, they ripped Eric DeCosta. They let him have it. Now, my opinion was I didn't mind the two first round picks to some degree because it's like you're in a win now position. You have a rookie head coach. Lamar's still in the Super Bowl now mode. So I was like, okay, it can be justified. I didn't hate it. But I got what they were coming from in terms of you're giving up the 14th pick and the first round pick next year. So you never know, especially with next year, you don't know. Um, and yeah, there's no way that the Raiders went through with that trade and did not tell the Ravens, yeah, he had a torn meniscus, FYI, while you're trading. Because that's ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah,
because here's the thing.
that was known.
If he has a torn meniscus, I'm telling you, I'm not giving you a second first round pick for that. You're getting a second round pick, and maybe I'll throw in a player just for the hell of it, but I'm not giving you a two first round picks. So for them, I think that's where they messed up is that they probably thought, man, he can't even bend his knee right now. We have no idea what's going on, and we just gave up our first round pick next year and this year. So I mean, like Jake said, now they get a pass rusher who's decent, right? Trey Hendrickson's pretty good. Um, I haven't taken a look at his contract, but I think they can get out of it in like 2 years. So if they really want to cut him, they can get out of the contract. It's not like it's all this guaranteed money. And then yeah, they're probably going to use that 14th pick on DB because they need the secondary to get better. The secondary is hot garbage. Um, yeah, it's just one of those things. Like you got to look at it from a standpoint of it's just so weird because I know he had to have looked at Twitter and been like, nah, we can't. He'll be like, nah, we gonna send you back, buddy. I just feel bad also for the Raiders because they just went out and spent a bag, and then
Well,
now it's like they just have 30 million in cap space taken away from them. And you can look at it from the standpoint of they got an elite pass rusher back, but you could also look from the standpoint of you just paid $81 million to a center. We'll probably talk about Linderbaum, but he got 27 per year, and you're paying all these people now. You traded for uh Turn Johnson, you re-signed Stokes, you got all these, you got N'Kobe Dean and Quay Walker and all these guys, and now you're gonna bring back Maxx Crosby. The defense might be good, but I mean, you could look at it from the standpoint of now you got Maxx Crosby back. If you don't want to trade him, it's like
their defense is going to be elite.
Yeah.
Their defense is going to be nasty.
who's their
I
defensive
mean,
coordinator?
the thing about the Raiders' offseason though is like they had enough money anyway to still retain Maxx Crosby and go and sign all of the guys that they signed. So even without what happened, they would have still signed all of these guys. Like I think they still have cap money left. I think they still have space left to go and sign more people if they want to. That's the crazy thing about the amount of cap space that they had this offseason. No, they're gonna be loaded, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I don't think Maxx Crosby is going to play another game for the Raiders. I think he's going to go for a first and change. That relationship is beyond repair. I think what happened at the end of 25, where he apparently wanted to play, but they wouldn't let him. Yeah, that doesn't look good. And he also doesn't match their timeline. Get some picks because the free agent signings are all great. I love N'Kobe Dean. I love Quay Walker. They played together. They're trying to take a page out of the Eagles playbook. We talked about Linderbaum. Are the Raiders going to be good next year? No. But they have a project in Fernando Mendoza, right? Assuming they take Mendoza, they have Genti, they have Brock Bowers, and they're probably your way. So get another first rounder, another immediate playmaker, send Crosby to a contender like Detroit Lions maybe or Chicago Bears. A few guys pulled out there. No, it's just crazy that it went like this. And I think from the Ravens standpoint, Eric DaCosta, I mean, you did wrong. Did he fail his physical? Probably. He probably did fail his physical because they called it a trim. It wasn't a trim, it's a repair. But Trey Hendrickson and 2 first-round picks is miles better than Maxx Crosby. And that's not disrespect to Maxx Crosby. Trey Hendrickson's great, and you get 2 first-round picks. I saw someone say, did Lamar Jackson have a part in this? No, absolutely not. So stop that.
Yeah, why would
Why would Lamar
people people have been tweaking about the reaction to this because it's like why in the fuck would Lamar Jackson have any say in
Yeah,
this?
he just wants help. He just wants a defense that could stop. Like, he doesn't care about the picks. He
And
doesn't.
then I see people tweaking about the whole like, oh, the Raiders didn't tell them bullshit. Like they told them.
Yeah,
Like Toussaint said, they told them. There's no way that you knew everyone knew Maxx Crosby had a meniscus tear. Like this isn't rocket science. Everyone knew this. He was
yeah,
rehabbing. This isn't anything new.
ridiculous.
So it's like you think oh the Ravens are just going to this trade like oh my God Max Crosby's fully healthy. No. Come on now. I fully believe I don't even know if Max Crosby did a fucking physical in Baltimore. Do we
Yeah,
even know if he did a physical?
that's
Like
what they're saying, but I don't know.
I don't know if he did a physical
Yeah,
for real.
they paid a team doctor. They were like, yeah, no, 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 no.
He was on the plane. Like he literally just posted he had a whole IG post on a private plane like 13 hours ago or some shit. I don't know if he did a physical.
they told him to do the Ben Johnson. They said, turn around the plane. You ain't coming here, buddy.
17 hours ago, he was on a plane. I don't know if he did a physical for real. Like, oh,
They
that's
did it on
just,
the tarmac.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. So it's a crazy story though, nonetheless. Wow.
Right. I guess where do you think Maxx Crosby it plays his first snap in 2026?
I don't know. Like I
You know, I'm
I see
going.
that so far it's been like Philly and Lions who
Yeah.
have inquired about him since he got sent back to Vegas. I mean, if you want me to go out on a limb and predict who between those two, I'm just gonna say Philly because Howie Roseman always somehow gets something done. And Howie always has something up his sleeve. So, I mean, Philly is not scared to make those moves. Obviously, we have seen them make plenty and plenty of moves. Even when it's the middle of the season, they still will make moves. So, like Philly. I think is the obvious um, franchise who would pull the trigger. I don't have any confidence in Detroit doing it anymore at this point because you should have been done this. You should have been the first fucking team to call Las Vegas about Maxx Crosby. And for some reason they just are scared to pull this trigger to get Maxx Crosby. So I don't know. As a Detroit Lions fan, I'm frustrated because like this should have been done by now. Um, so I'm gonna
It's
go with Philly between those two.
it's gonna be Philly. Howie Roseman, people are like, there were a lot of people freaking out. Oh my gosh, the Eagles let go of 5 players yesterday. Yes, because you can't pay everybody. Jalen Phillips got $120 million. Who in their right mind that is a winning team is going to pay him $120 million? He had to get overpaid to go to a mid team. N'Kobe Dean, you're gonna sign him for 3 years, 30 million. You just paid Zach Bond. Reed Blankenship, you got DBs and you can draft another DB, right? You don't want to sign him for more money. They're shoring up cap space for a big trade. That's what they're working on. Now, Howie doesn't like paying pass rushers, but if he trades for one on a 3 year deal, even if it is 100 million, I think he'll live with that. Um, I still think the Eagles are going to give away some more players in free agency to get that, and I think Howie's going to get them for a discount. I think Vegas, since they botched this, or I won't say Vegas botched it, since it blew up in their face, they're going to be on the market to sell low. They're going to be trying to get rid of him as soon as possible so that they can get rid of, so they can get that cap space back. Even though they can wait, I think they're gonna try and get him out of, the building as soon as possible. So when the draft comes, it isn't a story, so they're not focusing on it. And then how he's gonna give him maybe a first and a second. And the Eagles' first isn't that high, I believe. I have to check that out. But um, he's gonna do some kind of magic where he always does it, and you got to give him the benefit of the doubt because he's gonna do that kind of signing. I gotta look at the draft order. Let me see what pick do the Eagles have.
They're in the 20s probably, right?
23rd. Yeah, so a 23rd pick and then a second round pick for Maxx Crosby, and they're just gonna say whatever, let's do it. And there's a big difference between 14 and 23, especially in the, type of players you want. Um, but I think at this point for Vegas, 23 is acceptable. And I don't
Valid.
think because the Bears aren't gonna offer two first, and Poles is an okay general manager, but I don't think he's gonna fleece that. Brad Holmes, we just signed Isaiah Pacheco, so I don't even know what's happening. We signed him for a half-eaten bag of chips, 2 pennies, and a stick of gum, so it's okay. Uh, but I don't think the Lions are focusing on that big blockbuster deal. We also, I mean, the pass rush is kind of important, but
Yeah,
I think
valid.
because of this whole thing blown up in his face, his market has diminished a lot. So,
What? Yeah, I think he's gonna go to Philly. I'm not gonna elaborate on it. Let's do some more free agency. Crosby's getting traded. What's some other signings that stand out to you guys? If you need to think about it, I could go, but I honestly have to think about it too. Um,
I know one. Two really, they kind of play off each other, but the Los Angeles Chiefs, they got two DBs from the Chiefs. Brent Veach, the GM of Kansas
Los
City,
Angeles
doesn't
who?
like, huh?
The Los Angeles who?
The Los Angeles Chiefs. They they traded for Trent McDuffie and then
yeah.
signed Jalen Watson. McDuffie signed a 4-year, $124 million deal, 100 mil guaranteed, the highest contract by a DB ever, which is crazy. But he's a top five corner. He's been the top five corner since he entered the league. So paying for number one, that was their main issue last year with LA was corner. Um, their number one corner was Emmanuel Forbes, who's 6 foot 193, who's like 6 foot 180.
Mhm.
So he's getting bullied every single time by a number one receiver. You need a number one corner. Then you also signed Jalen Watson, 3 years, $51 million deal. He's 6'2", 197. So then you get a top five back, a top 15 back who's big and physical. So now you have your number one and your number two. Forbes slides to the number three spot. You still have an option to pick up a veteran or even draft one because they have the 13th pick this year. So they still have a great option at 13. They could go offensive tackle, corner, or wide receiver, right? They could go. I think Makai Lemon is definitely an option. Jermod McCoy from Tennessee, because Delaney is going to be gone, and then an offensive tackle maybe because Rob Havenstein, one of their tackles, retired. So they have options. And what surprised me was that since 2021, they haven't gone into free agency to get players. They've relied more on the draft. But now since last year, since the last season, they're like, oh, we can win it all. Like they're one of the top five teams going into next year that can win it all. So they just shred up their defense. They fixed their weakness. They probably might draft or sign another player. And then that's all the problems that they have because they have no other problems other than that. Except for special teams. Special teams is hot garbage for them, but they'll figure that out hopefully.
Valid. I'm gonna go with Romeo Dobbs, the Patriots. Actually, I'll expand it even more. Romeo Dobbs and Elijah Vera Tucker. Um, I think the Patriots desperately needed wide receiver help. I think Romeo Dobbs, even though this might be unpopular, is an upgrade over Stephon Diggs. He's a younger receiver that could get better with a better quarterback in Drake May. He's gonna be their wide receiver one. I think that, yeah, that's just a slam dunk, especially for the money there. And Vera Tucker's another great signing. He's a Jets draft pick. Hasn't played a lot because he's been hurt, but when he's played at an all-pro level, and now that he's not a Jet, I guarantee you he's going to play 17 games. But the Patriots absolutely smashed free agency last year by bringing in Carlton Davis, bringing in Milton Williams. I mean, yeah, you're looking at they made the Super Bowl. I'm not gonna justify the Patriots not make or not whatever. I love Dobbs. They need a wide receiver one. Give credit to the Patriots, and they keep bolstering the offensive line. Last year, yeah, sure, schedule merchants. They're a good roster, and they need to get better in a few areas. We saw that, and I think they've done just that.
Yeah, I like that one. I have a few actually. First I have Reek Woolen going to the Philadelphia Eagles. I think that's a spectacular signing for them. Obviously that was their big hole this season, this past season on defense, was finding a second quarter. Now they have one in Reek Woolen who is very well. Obviously he's a Pro Bowl corner, but can very well be an all-pro guy. He's played at an all-pro level. Um, his rookie season was insane in Seattle. 6 interceptions. He had 16 pass deflections, 63 total tackles combined from solo and assisted. So, Reek Willen's a guy, obviously, that is just going to make their defense so much better. And him and Quinion, that's just scary. That's absolutely scary. And then you add in Cooper DeJean in that mix as well. Obviously, now they have to go and replace Reed Blankenship. So they're looking, for a free safety. I think obviously they have a strong safety in Andrew Makuba, but it's Howie Roseman. I think if anything that he's learned, obviously, is having a hole in your secondary isn't ideal. So I think he'll get that obviously figured out within the next couple days or whenever before the season starts. So Reek Woolen to Philly is absolutely scary. Um, Next I have is Carolina. Carolina's I like the Devin Lloyd signing and the Jalen Phillips signing. Devin Lloyd coming off his best career or his best season in his career in Jacksonville. I mean, he was just. I feel like every time I watched a Jacksonville game, Devin Lloyd was just going crazy. Like he was going nuts. Um, and then what was it? I think it was the game against Kansas City
Yeah, the
on
pick at the goal line.
that Monday night game against Kansas City. Yeah, I think it was that game. I was like, Devin Lloyd is this he's a baller. So
Yeah, no,
I
he's
like
gross.
that. Yeah, he's disgusting. And then you pair him with Jalen Phillips, who he's been a big um guy on the D line since he entered the league. I mean, he's another guy like Reek Woolen. One of his best seasons was his rookie year in Miami, 2021, 8.5 sacks, 42 combined total tackles. And then last year he was in Philly, got traded there. He had a pretty good year with Philadelphia. So I think pairing those two guys together in Carolina, where they already had a decent. I'm not gonna say obviously Carolina was this, contender or anything like that, but they made the playoffs, and I know they were in the worst division in, in the league, but I mean, shit, they gave the Rams a run for their money.
They did. No, no, no. I really liked the Carolina Panthers this year. I think they got some really big wins and stuff. So
Yeah,
you could roll with that. I
yeah.
think they were better than people thought they were.
I think it just improves them though, especially defensive wise. Those two signings. So look out for Carolina this year. I don't think they're going to be this crazy contender, like I said, but those two signings are pretty good. And then I did really enjoy the Quincy Williams to Cleveland.
Mhm.
This defense was gross this whole year. One of the top defenses in the league, and people didn't know it because of how bad Cleveland was. And obviously the offense foreshadowed that in the whole quarterback situation and Shedeur Sanders and things like that. But no, Quincy Williams to Cleveland just makes their defense very, very better. And as a Jets fan, Jake, Quincy Williams is a very good linebacker in this league. I mean, he has one, two, three. He has 4 seasons with over 100 total tackles combined. So
Former first team All Pro. Yeah, no,
yeah,
he's an absolute flamethrower. A flamethrower.
so I think that's going to make Cleveland's defense just so much better than what it already is, and they're already a top defense in this league. So and then you pair him with the rookie defensive player of the year,
Yeah,
Carson Schweinebauer or whatever his last name. I can say
Messenger.
it, but I cannot say his last name. Um, so
Say
yeah,
it,
they're
say it again.
Schweinebauer.
Uh,
I can't say his
Um,
last name.
no, I like that. Um, let's talk a bit more about the quarterbacks and who's going where.
Hmm.
all right, Gino.
Gino.
The New York Jets traded for Geno Smith. That could be a later
The
discussion. Let's
new
start.
breaking news: the New York Jets are in full tank mode in the offseason.
Hey, I mean, look, we
The
could get
march for Arch.
yeah, look, I love it. We could get this out of the way now because why not? There are more important quarterbacks to talk about. Geno Smith is coming back to the place that drafted him. Great story. I genuinely do think all the Jets need to do next year is be stable. I think their defense got a lot better. Like one signing I love is Nashawn Wright. The Jets only forced 5 turnovers last year. Nashawn Wright forced 8 himself, right?
And not
Their
one
defense,
interception.
yeah, and you guys know, just shut up. You know, Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn is calling the defense now, so hopefully they're better. On the offensive side, Geno Smith, let him do his job. If he sucks, he sucks. Great, we'll get Arch Manning or Dante Moore. If he's good, great, whatever. We probably still won't be good. So that's how I feel about it. The Jets were embarrassing last year. They set the NFL record for 5 straight games, losing by 23 points. Justin Fields was awful.
Damn.
I don't know if Geno Smith's going to be that bad. I don't, but the Jets will still be bad. It is what it is. But let's talk about the actual quarterback moves that matter. And we'll start with Tua Tagovailoa and Malik Willis. The Dolphins signed Willis to a 3-year, $67 million contract, I'm pretty sure. He gets his first starting gig down in Miami with a team that is led by Jeff Hafley. And then Tua Tagovailoa going to Atlanta. Who do you think is in a better situation right now? Or just thoughts on both of those?
I I just don't understand. I don't really understand the Tua Tagovailoa trading with Atlanta. Um I mean, obviously I don't know what Penix's timeline is to return, but
It's like mid next season or something.
is it okay? So I really think with this signing, then I feel like the signing is really just hold shit over until Penix gets back. Like I mean, to me, like Tua's not a starter in this league anymore. I mean, 2,600 yards, 20 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. I'm sorry, I almost just made Tua Tagovailoa look way better than
You sound good. You almost made him a Pro Bowler. You almost made him an All Pro, man.
15 interceptions to 20 touchdowns is nutty. So I think, I mean, like he hasn't moved the needle. He's obviously those 2 brain injuries, kind of messed a lot of stuff up, but like he's just not a starter in this league anymore. And I think it's really just, hold stuff over till Penix gets back. I mean, I don't see a world where you seriously take Tua over Michael Penix Jr. I don't see that. And Michael Penix has his critics. I think Michael Penix can be a great quarterback in this league. Um, I think he just needs like a full season's worth of football to really prove that. Um, I mean, you look at last year, like he was not he was a pretty good quarterback last year. He was a pretty good quarterback. Almost 2,000 yards before he went down, 9 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and 88.5 rating. Like it's much better than Tua. Like so I don't know. I just
Penix can get out there with one leg and still be better than Tua.
yeah.
Listen,
I,
y'all
I think
know,
it's stuff over till
y'all know there are two quarterbacks in this league that I just cannot stand to watch play football. If
Hmm.
man and Tua. All right, there are two quarterbacks. Tua is a left-handed, immobile, inaccurate, weak noodle-armed quarterback that stands in the pocket and has brain injuries. It's like you could get somebody on crack that plays better than Tua. You put Lamar Odom in a jersey, you could do better. I'm so serious. I don't understand what Atlanta. Now I get that they're like, well, We need a quarterback to hold us over and play well. I mean, you could have signed any other backup. You could have traded for Mac Jones and tried to drive the price down. You could have gotten who was the quarterback at Arizona? Brissett. You could have gotten Jacoby Brissett. I would have liked that better than Tua. You could have gotten I'm trying to think Gardner Minshew. You could have gotten Gardner Minshew, and I would have been like, okay, you can survive with Gardner Minshew. But you chose to go get a guy that last year told the media, I can't even see over my offensive line. He's just out there throwing up punts. He literally told people. He has told people he's out there throwing up punts half the time. He's like, Tyreek down there somewhere. Like, I don't understand it. I don't get it. You have an offensive coach. You're reloading your offensive weapons. You got a new season. The defense was good last year. You got a new regime coming in, and I'm disappointed in Matty Ice. I mean, I would have had so many expectations for Matt Ryan coming in as the GM. I was like, yeah, he's gonna know what he's gonna do. You know, he has perfect idea of how to run a team. He's an MVP. He played with Julio. He knows he's been to the Super Bowl, and you sign Tua turn the ball over as your first act as GM. Are you serious? Like, I'm sure he can get you like in let's say 8 games, he can go 4-4. But like, do you want that? Like, I just Jacoby Brissett was really good for Cardinals last year. It's just the Cardinals were garbage. So he didn't have anything that he could. The only person he was throwing to was Trey McBride. That's it. Starting running back got hurt last year. He had all these yards. He'd be great.
Pause the Marv.
Yeah, I mean, like
Pause the Marv.
you would be great with Jacoby Brissett, but instead you choose. Here's the thing: if I watch one Atlanta game and I see Tua throwing up punts to Drake London, I am going to write an email to Matt Ryan myself, telling him cut him immediately. I would say Matt Ryan, go down and put on the pads yourself. I don't like it. As far as the Malik Willis, I actually really like the Malik Willis one. He was really good as a backup for New England. All speculations was that he's going to go to Miami, and Miami's trying to they cut Tua, who had the biggest cap, so they're not paying upwards of 30 million for a quarterback. He's getting like 20, low 20s. Um, he's dynamic. He's good. He'll make them interesting. Obviously, they don't have really any offensive weapons other than Waddle and Achan. Defense is still hot garbage, but you got about 2 players with you, and you just got to make it work. You got to make it rock. He's gonna have to take off in that pocket. He's gonna at minimum of 7 to 10 scrambles a game. Like this is what's gonna have to happen. But I like him. It's a good signing.
Yeah. Anything else we want to cover in free agency, or shall we move to hoops, college hoops in specific?
I think we can move that college hoops.
Bet. Conference tournament weekend. Yeah, it's almost March. Bracket a few days away. But first, we got some conference tournaments. So I guess, what is the one you guys are most excited for? What's a storyline that we're following here? Take it any way you want.
I
Yeah.
I'm most excited for the ACC tournament because it's going to be interesting to say the least. Duke
Yeah.
now announced that Caleb Foster, their starting point guard, and their starting center Patrick and Congo are both out. Caleb has a stress fracture in his foot and his leg, and Congo has a foot injury. So that's I mean, that's big time. I mean, that's a top facilitator and your big man. Now they can work without it. They'll just put more minutes with Malik Brown. Damon Sword is gonna have to take more minutes. Uh, the starting players are just gonna have to play more minutes. But they can do it. Also, reason why I also said ACC, Mikel Brown out with a back injury for the entire tournament. So like, I thought Louisville was gonna be a good team to watch. I also like SMU, who's playing Louisville, I think tonight. What's his name? Jaron Pierre. He's nasty. Boy, he is nasty. He got
Mhm.
hops. He got hops like crazy. He's electric. I'm gonna watch that game tonight. Um, Yeah, I mean, ACC is, I won't say it's wide open, but Miami's a good team. Louisville, even without Mikael Brown, is somewhat interesting. Duke doesn't have two of their players, so like it's more wide open than you would think, right? You usually think, oh, Duke's gonna run away with it. But then also UNC, even though they don't have Caleb, they're still really good. I really like this ACC tournament because a lot of guys are hurt and out. It's like you really don't know. Some teams could do better than others, and you never know. I still think Duke could probably win it, but I think it's gonna be a rematch of UNC Duke in the finals for the ACC tournament.
Semis. Semis because
Oh,
of
it's
the
gonna be
bracket.
semis. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a good one. Duke, yeah, I think they'll be fine. I know we're not doing predictions. They just need to get through this week without getting hurt. Ken Boozer's the best player in the country, already has silverware or hardware ready for him. I'm gonna go with the Big 12. I think that you look at the top four teams in Arizona, Iowa State, who just mauled Arizona State, by the way. They're winning by 40. Houston, reigning Big 12 champions for the past 2 years. They've won the Big 12 every year since they've been in the conference. And then Kansas with Darren Peterson. I think any of those four teams could win it. I also think any of those four teams could win the national championship. I think BYU plays West Virginia today. AJ DeBances might be the best player in the country. He dropped 40 against Kansas State. You go down the bracket, there's more teams too. You're talking about, I mean, look, I could name them all off. The Big 12 has widely been considered the best conference in college basketball this year. Um, yeah, no, I really like it. You're looking at these teams like whoever wins this week will be a one seed, maybe. Actually, I'll walk back on that statement. But any of those four teams could win. I didn't even mention Texas Tech yet, which is crazy. You're gonna have Iowa State, Texas Tech tomorrow. It's a great tournament. And then you got the LED floor, which everyone hates apparently. And I also do not like it. But I'm gonna go with the Big 12 tournament.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie, just play on a regular floor. I kind of agree
It's
with it.
yeah, it's ridiculous. I understand the
I don't
innovation.
like it.
I mean,
Nah.
look, I'm fine with
I'm
it.
not. I'm not. I kind of think it. I think it's. I like. I kind of like it. I ain't gonna lie.
The players don't like it apparently.
I mean,
So
it's cool from a fan perspective, but like, imagine if you were hooping on an LED court, it would piss you off. Like, it would
yeah.
piss me
Uh,
off if I was hooping
I
on an
mean,
LED court.
look, bro, I'm not gonna act like the Kansas State basketball team's the best team to reference, but someone got a migraine and it was slippery and bad. But that usually happens when Kansas State basketball takes the court anyway. So yeah.
I mean, yeah, I get it. I just like the color of it, honestly. I guess it doesn't need all the LED lights and shit in it. Like, imagine getting dunked on and LED lights just start flashing.
Right?
You have an epilepsy attack when you get dunked on.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm thinking about it now. If I got punched on and some LED lights started lighting up under me, bro, oh my, I would be so hot, bro. I would be so hot. Be so hot, bro. I'd grab that basketball and just fuck that shit. Why not, bro? Like at that point, because that shit would make me hot. But I like the color of it though. I like how dark it is. So I don't know. But in terms of the tournament I'm most excited for, I like yours, Jake. I do like the Big 12. Everybody's just beating up on each other in the Big 12 this year. So I do think the Big 12 tournament's going to be really, really good. But I think Houston's out for blood, and I think Houston's going to win it. I know we aren't doing predictions, but I just think Houston's out for blood. Um, so I'm gonna go with the Big East tournament,
Good. I was literally
and
just thinking about that.
the reason why is because UConn just got beat by Marquette to close the season out. And UConn absolutely needs to win this tournament if they want to be considered for a one seed. They got to do it. If they lose in this tournament, they are not going to be a one seed. If they want to be comfortable heading into the tournament, obviously, if you ask Dan Hurley, he's not going to give a fuck what seed they are. But it's different being a one seed. So they got to win out and win their tournament to be a one seed. I think that's going to be really, really interesting tracking that. And then obviously seeing if Florida wins the SEC tournament because that's ultimately what, this final one seed is going to come down to. Houston has a very good shot at being a one seed as well. Obviously, if they win their tournament, it'll help them out a lot. But I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see what UConn does in the tournament, especially with St. John's and how they've been playing over the past 2 months. St. John's has been playing really good basketball. So um, yeah, I mean, obviously, I think it's ultimately going to be probably. I haven't looked at the bracket, but I mean, it's ultimately going to be what St. John's versus UConn in the final, probably.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a really good game. Um, and yeah, I like the Big East tournament.
Valid. Well, let's just get into predictions since we're running into a clock. I want you guys to give me, I guess, we'll run through the five tournaments. Give me your final and your winner. If you need to pull up the bracket, fine. You could also give a threat. Let's start with the Big East since I think all of us are going to say UConn St. John's in the final. Unless I'm wrong, you could stop me now. That's
No,
that's what I thought.
yeah.
Who wins the Big East? Is it going to be St. John's? Is it going to be UConn?
I think it's gonna be UConn. I get and then again because they lost that last game in their number one
Yeah.
seed position. I think Hurley's gonna be tweaking out of his mind.
Yeah, he's
He's
gonna
doing the
be
locker room just spitting fire.
losing his shit. He's
Yeah,
absolutely losing his shit. Yeah, I'm gonna go with UConn as well. I do really want to see St. John's win it. Um, I've enjoyed seeing St. John's basketball play over the past 2 years since Patino's took over. Um, but yeah, I agree with Toussaint. I mean, UConn's gonna be, they're just gonna be fired up, and Dan Hurley's just gonna be a madman. He's gonna be insane. So, um, yeah, I'm gonna go with UConn there.
I am going to go. I'll be different. I think UConn has a better chance to win the national championship. This game's in the Garden. Yeah, give me St. John's since it's in the Garden. I also think you could play the other way. St. John's didn't make a field goal in the last 17 minutes up in Hartford against UConn last time. Zuby Ejiofor and Bryce Hopkins is the second best backcourt in America behind Florida. I think they get it done against UConn. I still would say UConn goes further in the tournament because St. John's, it's very similar to last year. If they don't shoot the ball well, you're not in a good position. But I like Jason Sainin a lot. And so let's go with St. John's there for me. Next up, let's go Big 12 since we just talked about it. Blake, you could start us off since you have Houston. If there's anything you want to add, go for it. If not, I don't care.
Um, so yeah, like I just said, I think Houston's gonna win this. They're out for blood. I think they're pretty pissed off, falling short of Iowa State, falling short of Arizona. Um, so I think Houston. I mean, if they want to ultimately, if they want to control their destiny, they want to get a one seed. They have to win. And what better time to show that you got some dogs on your side and you can get shit done than winning your conference tournament right now. So I'm gonna go with Houston. I think in the final, we'll see. I mean, ultimately, probably Houston, Arizona, if we're being real. Arizona, one seed. They've been one of the best teams in the country all year long. They've been actually they've been a top three team all year long. So I think it'll be Houston, Arizona. I think Houston gets their revenge.
yeah. At several points throughout this season, I doubted Arizona, especially when Cole Pete went down. I was like, oh, they're in some big trouble because they don't have size inside, and they were able to account for it. They brought in other guys. They gave more minutes to other players. Toby Awaka stepped up. He's been really pivotal for them this last ever since Cole Pete got hurt. He like took it upon himself to be a better rebounder, even though he was a great offensive rebounder, even better. He was great in the post. He's a great passer, and I think that's a difference maker for them is Toby Awaka. Because he does a lot of the dirty work and he'll put like 12, 10 and 13 up, and that's like pivotal for them. So for me, I have Arizona. I just think they're not one player dependent. They're not dependent on Cole Pete, even though he's electric. They're not dependent on Burries. Um, I think Bradley was Big 12 Player of the Year. He's a forward or a guard who is has a lot of experience, veteran guard. And I just like Tommy Lloyd. I think he's a really good coach, and he coaches them well, gets them in the right position. I think they just have everything they want. I mean, Delorso, he can drop 20 off the bench if he feels like it. He's a great shooter. He can drive to the rim. I mean, he's just like that. So, I got Zona.
I'm gonna go. We're all different. I'm gonna go with Kansas. Darren Peterson has played 29 plus minutes in 5 straight games now. It looks like he's finally enjoying it. Kansas might be a better basketball team with Darren Peterson off the floor, but at the same time, when he's on the floor, he's the best scorer in the country. They already beat Arizona. They already beat Houston. They also lost to both those teams. If Darren Peterson really is healthy, I think Kansas is the best. It might be the best Big 12 team. I think any one team is going to shake in their boots if they have to play Kansas and Darren Peterson. Arizona's great. Houston's great. They could both be in the Final Four. Neither of them has a Darren Peterson. I'm going to bank on him playing the Big 12 tournament, and I'm going to go with Kansas. I think they'll beat Houston. I think they'll beat Arizona. But though yeah, we'll go with that. Let's be different. Let's talk. Let's go to Chicago. Big 10 tournament. We can make this quick. I sort of know who y'all are going with.
And Black, dude, give me them Wolverines, son. Come on now. I ain't picking nobody else. Get that shit out of here, man.
You know what it
Yeah,
is.
X-Man. Yeah,
I'm
X-Man.
gonna I'm gonna be
X-Man.
unpopular. Give me Sparty over Michigan in the finals.
Boo.
Yeah, give
Oh,
me. I know it's so scary for
oh
Michigan fans.
boy.
If I'm gonna put a little bit of rationale here, because why not? And this isn't against Michigan at all. A team hasn't won the Big Ten tournament in back-to-back years in a really long time. It's really hard to beat a team three
You know
times.
who the last team was to do it?
Yeah, Michigan,
You
and it's
damn
gonna
right
be,
it
and it
was.
might be Michigan again.
You
Uh,
damn right it was.
yeah. It's very hard to beat a team 3 times in a year. But then again, Michigan is Michigan. I'm gonna bank on Michigan State because they haven't done well in the Big Ten tournament recently, and they are a good team, a well-coached team, regardless of how we feel about Jeremy Fears. In one game in Chicago on a neutral court, frick it, why not? If they want to play for a 1 seed, they got to win out, and they got to get that win over Michigan. So let me just go like that again. Not a bash on Michigan at all. I think Michigan's the best team in the Big Ten. I'm just gonna go Sparty because why not? I think also Michigan and Michigan State haven't played in the Big Ten championship in so long. That would be fucking awesome. It would be
Yeah.
awesome.
No, it
The
would
Dominic
absolutely. That game in Chrysler was absolutely amazing. That was an
Yeah,
amazing basketball game. Michigan State proved that they can run with Michigan.
yeah,
I'm
both
not
of those
even
games, by the way, the one at
not.
Breslin too.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
also, like, I don't mean to cut you off. The teams hate each other. They hate
Oh,
each
they
other much
do.
more now.
They do.
They
They
much more
absolutely do.
now. But they did not hate each other like this under Jawan. They didn't.
No.
Jawan didn't care.
Sums up with Izzo and Dusty May. Izzo doesn't
It
like
was the
Dusty.
senior night thing. I guarantee you it's
And
the
Dusty,
season.
it is the senior
It's
night.
the
Yeah,
senior
it was
night
this.
thing.
Yeah, the
That's
senior
when
night
it
shit
that's
really.
when it
I
flipped
Senior
because
night
love the
shit
hate.
really. Yeah,
I
because
love
then
the hate.
because then
it was
every single
awesome.
time from now on he's been like, yeah, I hate them. What do you
Yeah.
expect from me? Before he was just like,
Yeah.
yeah, we're playing Michigan. They're our rivals. You know, we're gonna go in there. But Dominican LeBron will lead us. The
Oh, you
Dominican
love
LeBron.
Dominican Bobby.
I
Dude,
Dominican LeBron.
let's go down south. I think it's in Nashville, the SEC. You obviously have the Florida Gators, who are the hottest team in college basketball. Are you guys going with Florida to win the SEC tournament, or are you going somewhere else?
I I'm gonna go. So I think Florida is ultimately gonna win it just because they're a better team. But I'm gonna put faith in the SEC Player of the Year and go Razorbacks.
Ooh, I
Darius
like
Acuff
that.
Jr. is nasty. He sat out the last game with an ankle. I believe it was a left ankle injury at Missouri. But I think he is poised to run through this conference or this tournament. Um, 22 points per game, electric, dropped 49 in double overtime against Bama. I mean, he is like, if you ask me who comes in second for the Wooden Award, I would pick Darius Acuff Jr. just because I think there's no other player in the country that's had more put on his plate and he's delivered. The whole offense runs through Arizona or Arkansas. Other players can get their own shot, but he's the one that sets everybody up. Like he's the one that's going to be the one to run the offense. Um, and again, that team is really athletic, but he's the one that he's like the key piece that makes everything combine together. He's the heart of the body for them. And I'm gonna stick with my Michigan man.
I like that a lot. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna pick Florida to win it. Obviously, we talked about this last episode. I'm not gonna pick against Florida the way that they've been beating teams the past month. Florida's been really good, and I think they're just gonna keep rolling into the tournament, into March Madness, and I think they're gonna be back in the Final Four. Um, Now, I love the Arkansas pick because that was the team that I was really looking at that I was like, okay, I think Arkansas can make a run here. Um, do I think they're going to be in the I think honestly, I think Arkansas will be in the final. I think it will be Florida Arkansas. I do. Um, like I said, or like Toussaint said, Darius Acuff, I think he's just going to go absolutely nuclear in this tournament. I- why not? Fuck it. Why not? And Arkansas, it surprisingly, Arkansas is, I think, fourth in the nation in offensive points per game. So, I mean, they have the capability to do it. And yeah, I mean, you're led by Darius Acuff, arguably the best point guard in the nation. Why not?
Yeah, I'll keep it short. Florida's been railing teams. They are, I have them as my second national championship contender behind Duke right now. They started 5-4. They're 25-6. Sorry, give me the Gators there. Last one, ACC tournament. Now it should be exciting, except for the fact that Caleb Wilson's out, Michael Brown's out, Caleb Foster's out, Patrick Gongba's out. I am going to stick with Duke. I think that Duke is the best team even without those two. I actually think, like, in a weird way, this sort of helps them. Caden Boozer with some experience starting. This is also a guy, look, I understand he's played with Cameron every game of his career. He still wins. I love Malik Brown. Dame Sarr, when he's on the floor, Duke's the best defensive team in the country, and now he's scoring like he did in the Euro League. Um, I'm excited for a potential Duke Carolina matchup. I'm not going to go on a Caleb Wilson tangent. I'll do that another time, but like it sucks. And Michael Brown being out sucks. Duke's the best team in the country. Even if they don't get Caleb Foster back for March Madness, I still think they can win it all. Gongba's going to come back. I don't know about Foster. But this week, just because the ACC is a weak-ish conference, I'm almost excited. I'm excited like you are, Toussaint, for the games. But I still think that Duke's the common denominator, very similar to last year when Cooper Flag was out, right? So give me the Blue Devils there. It's a few blocks away from my apartment. Hopefully I'll be there. And this time when I'm in the press box, I won't be wearing Carolina stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going Duke. No shock there. Obviously, yeah, Caleb Foster out. Um, I just think I don't know. It's just like losing two of your really key pieces heading into a conference tournament is not ideal. But if there's any team in the country that can get through that, can persevere through that, it's Duke, obviously. They're loaded. They're always loaded every single year. It's the Duke Blue Devils. There's no shock there. I think other guys are just going to have to step up, and they can. Caden Boozer, probably best freshman in the country, hands down, 100%. I think his brother is going to have to step up huge. And I think that Slim Evans is going to have to step up huge. I honestly though, I think what we're going to see from Slim Evans is you're going to see you're going to see some hoops.
You're
You're
going
going
to see
to
some
see some
chucking.
balls going in the net. Like
Yeah, you're going to see some chucking, but that's
he's
what he
gonna,
does. He's one of the
yeah,
best tough shot makers in the country.
yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I think Duke gets it done, but watch out for Miami. Watch out for Miami. Watch out for the Canes.
I do think Miami gets to the final and
I
plays.
think Miami gets to the
I think
final
they
as
beat
well.
yeah, I think they beat Virginia. And by the way, Jay Lucas is a damn good coach. He's literally trying to
Yeah.
bring Duke down there.
Yeah, I mean, Miami, they're fifth in the ACC in points per game. They're first in field goal percentage. They're fourth in points differential. Fourth in points allowed. Like they have a very good basketball team.
They have a point guard who won the conference championship last year.
Shout out to Trey Donaldson, won it for the Michigan
Right.
Wolverines last year.
Now,
So
let me ask you guys this before we do Tweaker of the Week. Toussaint, I didn't even give you I'll give you a time to give a prediction. Would you rather have Trey Donaldson than Elliot Cadeau?
yeah,
No. No, because I would rather have a point guard that doesn't score, knowing that there are other players that need to score.
I don't know.
That's
I like
my assessment.
I
If
like Trey
Ellie
Donovan.
Cadeau doesn't score, I
I
don't
like
have a
Trey
problem
Donovan.
with it. I don't need
Nah,
it.
dog. Nah, dog. I think if Trey
You're fine
Donaldson
with
was
it
on
if he
this
doesn't
team,
score and he doesn't shoot it. If he does what he did against Duke, you're not okay
Listen,
with
if we play Duke, I would rather have a homeless man come straight off the streets and handle the rock. Get the man living right outside the arena to come in and play point guard. Call me. I won't tuck a shot.
oh my
Just put
gosh.
my name on the back of a jersey, give me a little NIL money, and I won't take not one shot.
right? Toussaint, since it's three, we're gonna go into tweaker of the week. I'm assuming you have Duke, right? And we
Yeah,
can just do cool.
yeah.
Tweaker of the week. I'll start us off. We'll do a collective tweaker first. It's Mark DeRosa and the Team USA management. We could start there.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, where do we even start? Going on MLB Network saying that putting out some guys that I didn't support in the lineup and a lot of people didn't support. Not if Tariq Skubal was going to pitch one game, why wasn't it against one of the better teams with a lineup of all lefties? And now the dream team, I mean, they might go home and be eliminated. Just an awful look for USA Baseball, right? Any thoughts there before we go into individual ones?
You just can't make that mistake. That's just an inexcusable mistake. You got to know your qualifications, and you can't go on national TV and be like, "Well, we're good already," when you're not good, and then throw out a terrible line. You got to know when you can qualify, when you can't qualify. You have to be on that because this is the WBC. It's the Olympics for baseball, and the qualifying is all really weird. Certain runs matter. Some it was so funny because I just mentioned quickly, Korea was celebrating that, or Australia was celebrating that they were down four to Korea or something like that because they had enough runs to qualify, but they were still losing the game. So it's like it was okay. So very specific qualifications for how we have to advance. But yeah, that's pretty inexcusable for him to do that and trot Goldschmidt out there. I like Goldschmidt. He's way past his prime. You need Harper in there. We got to know what we're doing.
Right. All right,
Yeah, no,
let's
I was just gonna add that, or I was just gonna say that was you're selected for this position. Um, you can't make mistakes like that. Like you're selected to lead this group and you're pulling shit like that. Like that's just unacceptable. So I don't know. That's really all that I got.
done. All right, let's get into individuals. I'll start us off. Um, Duke fans. I know I'm a Carolina fan, so it's a little unbiased. Um, I mean, it's a little biased rather. I didn't like what they did on College Game Day. Am I butthurt by the Caleb Wilson thing? Yeah, but it's not only Carolina things. I think Caleb Wilson, the fact that he's not playing in the ACC tournament, let alone the NCAA tournament, and the way it happened, just robbery on the highest level. And for some Duke students on College Game Day to go with the signs, to go with the that stuff, and then look, I don't believe in karma. And then again, I'm really hoping Caleb Foster and Patrick Gongba come back. It's a little bit of karma right there, is it not?
Yeah.
But I really hope they come back. But Duke fans are always tweakers. You know how I talked about that. I just think like it's nice. I'm trying to word this in the best way possible. Um, Karma's a bitch,
Yeah, it's a good way of
respectfully.
putting it.
Yeah, I guess I'll put it that way. But hopefully they come back. I'm wishing well for both of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
My tweaker of the week is everybody who's been hating on Bam Adebayo. Because I'm not gonna lie, it's starting to piss me off.
David riding hard for Kobe.
It's starting to piss me off. Listen, and this is my thing. Like I get riding for Kobe. Like I understand that. Obviously, we all know what Kobe Bryant was. We all know what he is, and what we all know what his legacy is in this game. 100%. That's that. Now, Kobe Bryant, let's be honest here. Kobe Bryant did not hold the record. Wilt Chamberlain holds the record.
So they say.
So they say, but I mean, if we're gonna be for real, we seen Bam Adebayo drop 83 points. Wilt might have did that shit. Like Wilt might have did that shit. But Kobe did not hold the record. He was second most in points scored in a game in NBA history. Second. He did not hold the top record. Now we get obviously what Kobe did was what 24 years ago or whatever the case may be. It's been a long time. Not a lot of people thought we would see another 80-point game, whatever. Shit's changing. The game's changing, things like that. Um, I just don't understand why you're getting mad at Bam Adebayo for going and achieving something that's that huge, especially for him. I mean, you've seen him crying after the game, hugging his mom. Um, he's talked a lot about, playing this game for his mother and seeing her struggle when he grew up and things like that. And then he goes and hugs her like, and now you're just going to sit there and say he's doing too much by dropping 83 points. Now I understand the 43 free throw attempts. 43 free throw attempts is absolutely insane. Like that's crazy.
He was trying to take on triple and quadruple teams in the fourth quarter.
Like I won't lie, 43 free throw attempts is insane. I ultimately though think it just got to a point in the fourth quarter where Washington just couldn't do shit else and they just started hacking them. Like if you
Yeah.
watch the game, they literally just started grabbing him every time he got the basketball. So there wasn't really much else he could do in really the whole second half, but especially the fourth quarter. They just started grabbing him. Um, but that's my thing is like everybody's all pissed off about he had 43 free throw attempts and Bam Adebayo shouldn't be passing Kobe Bryant for points scored. We should be celebrating like dead ass. Like it's 83 points. 83 points.
It's because it's Bam. Like if it was Jason
That's the
Tatum,
thing though. Like it's we pick and
Luca,
choose who's
Wemby, like if it was Wemby, people would be, oh my goodness. People
bro,
would be bowing down to Wemby on the
bowing,
court.
bowing. Absolutely bowing. So that's my whole thing. And then people are all like, oh my God, 43 free throw attempts he had. He how is he sitting up there and claiming that he scored 83 points? Let's let's actually be for real here. If you scored 83 points, but you had 43 free throw attempts, you're telling me you're gonna sit up there in front of the media and say, I scored 83 points, guys, but it really doesn't count because I had 43 free throw attempts. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Miss me with that, man. You are not gonna do that. You are not gonna do that. You are going to be sitting there and saying, yeah, I scored 83 points. So that's my thing. It's like people are just acting like they'd be like, oh my God, I had 43 free throw attempts, so it really doesn't count. You wouldn't be saying that. You would not be saying that. So that's my thing. Celebrate Bam Adebayo. He scored 83 points. Kobe's third now. Oh well. Like, live with it.
My tweet of the week is Rashad McCants. So, so if
Get
you
him out
don't,
the mud. We got
so when Bam dropped the 83 last night, he retweeted that clip and someone put it in the comment section perfectly. They said he said they called me a madman. I said the person said he said it wasn't the fact that you said it wasn't the fact that someone could break the record. It was the fact that you said you could break the record. It was there was something the kids said they could break the record. Yo, he talk about, yeah, if I get 15 in the first quarter and just keep scoring 15 in the second, drop maybe 20 in the third. Yeah, no, listen, buddy, he had 42 at halftime. He had
Bro.
he had 60, he had like 63 through three quarters. And then he just from that he just realized, oh, they're gonna keep grabbing me. I'm gonna go to the line. Listen, that was the funniest, that was one of the funniest clips I've ever seen. But the fact that you retweeted that, it isn't that bad. It like you gotta realize nobody is thinking, Rashad McCants can score 81 points in a game. I guarantee you there's not a single human being that has ever been birthed that thought Rashad McCants could drop 81 points in a game by simply dropping 15 a quarter, 15 to 20 a quarter. It doesn't exist. So with that, we got it out the mud. That's quick of the week.
All right. That's how we'll end it. We'll be back, tweakers. Yeah, let's enjoy conference tournament weekend. That's all I got. And free agency. Enjoy it as much as we can. Geno Smith's coming home.
Yeah.
Tanking is
Run up
back.
socials, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe. Shout out to everybody, your mom, your grandma, whoever. Repost, retweet, all that type of shit. What should we have him comment?
I don't know.
How many points would you score if you were in the
Yeah,
NBA?
how many points would you score in an NBA game against the Washington Wizards?
Yeah.
Comment that. How many points do you score in an NBA game against Washington Wizards?
I'm at least dropping 15. Catch and shoot.
Shit, yeah, I'm letting that thing fly. And that thing
If
fly.
Bam can get 83, I can get 15.
I can get at least about 12, 15.
I'm sure Chris could get something like that too, saying he could beat you in a 1v1.
Gosh. Yeah, we're
You're
gonna
gonna
end
have to
it.
pull out the sky hook on him.
Yep. Get out the mud. We got Uncle Chris. But nah, always run it up, show love, and stay fly. Peace.